again. Welcome back to Release the Yeast. It's our Plant a Pizza Party edition with Sarah and Noel. I'm Noel.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're going to make some pizza. All right, so the first step, as always, is, can you guess it, Sarah?
Is it to release the yeast?
We are indeed going to release the yeast. You just pour it in some warm water. And then, as always with yeast, you want to make sure you give it a couple minutes to get comfortable with that water before you add anything else. We're just going to throw in our salt, sugar, and oil. And then we need to talk about flour.
What about flour?
Sometimes you need to add a little more flour with this dough. It gets sticky really easily, and you don't want it to be sticky per se, but it needs to be really soft, so kneading always helps. But if you need to add a little bit, just always do it in small quantities while you mix it up, which we're going to see here in a second. I like starting with a fork when I mix mine up, because I feel like it gets everything nice and saturated.
Mixy, 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 mixy.
Indeed, we are mixing. You're not even ready. Now it's my hand.
Where did the fork go?
I know. You don't even know. It's crazy.
Wow.
But you can see how it's kind of still sticking to my hand a little bit, so I did add a little more flour and then started kneading it on a floured surface. And it's going to get that dough all nice and soft and consistent, which is always fun. Let's see here. And then once she's in a pretty little ball.
Look at that ball.
I know, it's just a ball of
Look
dough
at that
waiting to
ball
go.
of dough.
You're going to preheat that oven to 375, and then what are we going to do?
We could take a cat nap.
A cat nap.
Oh.
This just lets the dough get nice and hydrated and rise a little bit. If you want it even airier, let it rise for longer, 30 minutes or more, whatever you want. It's a pretty fun time. It's a really cute cat.
And the perfect time to take a nap.
Oh, yes. And then you're going to spread it out to whatever shape pleases you. It's always best to start from the inside and move out. And then when you're transferring it to your surface, you just kind of want to make sure you have plenty of flour on hand. Move it as gently as possible. You can use a pizza stone or pan, but you can also use a sheet pan just as long as you line it with parchment paper or foil, something that will help you with the stickiness of the dough. Oh, and then you get to do one of my most favorite parts.
Stab it.
I think we're going to stab it with a fork.
Stabby,
Do you know why I stab it with the fork, other than some anger issues?
You want there to be air in throughout the flour or the dough.
Yep, and we don't want anything bubbling up and over, like my rage. So we're just going to keep stabbing, stabbing, stabbing. You can see how thin my crust is. I like mine nice and thin. And then she's going to go right in the oven. 10 to 12 minutes, that's it. You're just going to slide it off the pan when it comes out. As long as it slides off and the bottom is cooked, you're good to go. And then the best part is you can do this ahead of time and then just leave it out on the counter covered up and then top it later. Or you can go for it right away. Do you want to say a little word on sauce, Sarah?
Oh, you could use a tomato-based sauce, a cheese-based sauce. You could do any type of sauce you want. This is a really build-your-own type of pizza. But you could use some of those fresh herbs that we got last week and maybe throw some oregano in there.
That's right, and I did that, and then I also did some thyme and basil with kale. Oh, and then you just throw it back in the oven until that cheese is melted. Can you see the melted cheese, Sarah?
Oh, it looks so good. I personally would probably leave my pizza in the oven just a little bit longer to get that nice dark crust, but
look at how perfect she looks, though.
I would eat that up in a minute.
I did eat it in a minute. So thank you for joining us, guys.
It was so much fun to make this pizza with you guys.
And we hope you enjoy. Goodbye.
Bye.